All right, catching up on where we just left off. We were just talking about NVIDIA and their CES presentation. Now I am on to AMD. Now AMD was actually at CES. NVIDIA looked like they did like a pre-recorded sort of thing going on. And Lisa Su took the stage, and when she's on the stage at CES, this is her event, this is her thing. It was a great presentation for AMD. Now this is not to kind of blow over or overlook the problems that's going on with AMD right now with the 7900 XTX. Pretty big hardware issues. Apparently, there's things going on with their vapor chamber with the GPU. So a lot of people who bought that GPU, they're going through it right now. They most likely will have to do recalls. It's a mess. It's a pretty big mess now that's happening with their reference GPUs. Not all 7900 XTXs, specifically with the reference 7900 XTX and potentially the 7900 XT as well. Reference GPUs are experiencing those issues. Not to overshadow that, the presentation for CES was still pretty good. I got some notes here. Let's start off with their new laptop lineup, ultra thin series. They call it the Ryzen 7040 ultra thin series. This is supposed to be an 8-core 16 thread chip that's capable of 5.2 gigahertz. It's also pushing the new Ryzen AI software and also built on a 4 nanometer process. The 4 nanometer process is pretty interesting because not only will these chips be able to run at these 5 gigahertz speeds, but it also is going to save them on some battery life. Obviously, as you shrink down in nanometer size, you also get the power efficiency. At least that's how it's always been. And it seems to be the same thing here, where AMD is claiming that they are able to get at least 30 plus hours of battery life out of the chip, out of this technology. Now, this is still going to rely heavily on exactly what kind of laptops these chips are placed in and what power these laptops are going to be putting into these chips in order to get out the performance and also maintain the battery life that is being claimed here. So it's going to vary a lot between different laptop designs, and there's going to be a lot of designs. So expect to see more than 250 different laptop versions from all kinds of manufacturers and brands using AMD's new 7040 series chips. I can't wait to see what Dave 2D has to say about these laptops when he finally gets them in hand, because he's going to get them. There's going to be some pretty interesting reviews from that. Cannot wait. More on their mobile GPUs. We have the RX 7000 mobile GPUs. Yes, we have the Ryzen 740, which Lisa Su was talking about, specifically the Ryzen 7945HX. But she also talked about mobile GPUs. We just finished talking about mobile CPUs, mobile GPUs, the RX 7000 mobile GPUs, specifically the RX 7600M XT 8 gig. That's a bit of a tongue twister name. And this is where I was saying that the power that the laptops are going to be capable of, like what they're pushing out for overclocking and gaming and all that, is going to be very important as to what kind of performance the mobile chips, GPU and CPU, is actually going to push out. What kind of numbers are you going to see when you buy the specific laptop? AMD showed a bunch of benchmarks for the mobile GPU, just like they did for the CPU. It looks good. It looks like it is going to get out a good bit of performance here. However, one key thing she said on the stage was configurable power, which means performance will vary. So the GPU is capable of configurable power. In other words, however the laptop manufacturer builds a laptop is going to determine how much power is going to be put into the GPU, which is going to determine how well your games is going to run. So keep that in mind if you're going to be buying any of these laptops going forward. You should be seeing them rolling on laptops in February. So that's just next month. This is pretty quick here. Moving forward, we finally get to the meat of the presentation as far as gamers are concerned, and that is the new chips, the new actual desktop CPUs that's rolling out. The X3D, this is the 3D cache. We've been hearing about this for a while, since last year when AMD did their first presentation for the new 7000 series. We knew that 3D V cache was on their timeline for this year, and now we're seeing it. Ryzen 7 7800X 3D, 104 megabytes of cache. That's crazy. um, Obviously, 5 gigahertz, 5 nanometers, and they are claiming this will be at least 15% more it should have 15% more performance than the previous 3D cache chip, which is the Ryzen 7 5800X 3D. Now, this was good. What we didn't expect was for them to push it even further. And finally, they actually brought out a higher tiered X3D 3D Vcache chip. So this is now, we have the Ryzen 9 7950X3D, 16 core, 32 thread, 144 megabytes of cache, 5.7 gigahertz frequency. As positive as this is, some people who bought in early into the AM5 might be slightly frustrated with this current announcement. Again, if you haven't bought into AM5, this is looking great for you. But if you bought into AM5, a lot of people who buy into new platforms, they go in high, right? If they go in with as much as they can afford. So a lot of people will probably go in and get the highest chip, the highest CPU, and then they'll get whatever memory, motherboard, whatever they can. But usually on the CPU, they'll kind of go as high as they can. If people already bought the current 7950, if they already bought the current Ryzen 9 7950 without the 3D cache, they might feel some kind of way about this. They might be feel slightly frustrated that this current one is coming out now. And obviously, if you already have the 7950X of this current generation, this new platform AM5, there's not going to be that much reason to upgrade to this. At the same time, if you knew it was coming out, you probably would have waited a little longer. That's what I mean by there's going to be a little bit of frustration with announcements like this. But moving forward, it looks great. When I finally jump over to M5, this is probably going to be the CPU I purchase. I'm probably going to do the 7950X 3D now that it's out on the market, because it's going to give you the best of everything, right? You're going to get all the cores you need for whatever workload you're doing, probably way more the cores you need whatever workload you're doing. And then you also get the gaming power as well. So it seems great. Of course, after they showed the X3D cache, 3D V cache CPUs and talked about gaming, they did a showcase talking about the Star Wars Jedi, which is powered or optimized for AMD graphics cards. Again, showing a game is more of a, here's this game, it looks great using our technology, but no real numbers or whatever that means. But the game does look good. I will say that for what they showed, it does look good. More important than this is like a lot of the mainstream stuff, but I didn't realize it. Did you guys know how big AMD is now? I didn't realize how that they had so many partnerships in all these different sectors of technology. The rest of the showcase, beyond the CPUs, Lisa Su got into talking about healthcare and the technology that they're doing there, and also space as well. And these were pretty interesting. I want to touch on these very briefly before we close out here. So they talked about healthcare and AI. Intuitive, I believe is the name of the company, and AMD talked about how they were using this technology to perform surgeries, or better surgeries, right? More deep, and helping doctors to perform these critical and complex surgeries easier, and giving them more information. It was very interesting. They're literally using AI powered, I want to say robots, but pretty much the machines have AI technology in them. They also powered by AMD, and they're actively in the field. And the name of the platform is called Da Vinci. So this is a surgical platform machine that is being used now in the field to help people to do surgeries and heal people. It was a very interesting talk. I do encourage you to check out those tidbits of the presentation if you have some time. Also, they talked about handheld ultrasound, where a doctor was saying how in her town is very rural, out in the middle of nowhere. It's very hard to get proper medical care. If people want certain treatments or even ultrasounds that they need, they may have to drive miles and miles away to actual hospitals to get that care. Now they have handheld portable ultrasound machines, allow them to diagnose certain things, allow them to do better treatments on site in that town without having to drive for long ways. Very interesting. The name of that technology was called AMD Zinc, I believe. Again, another a combination of AMD and AI software solution, and that was also very interesting. And then we got into space, where Lisa Sue and an astronaut, and I did not put her name down, but she was a very strong presenter. Very nice lady who was up on the stage. Talked about AMD Vertex FPGAs. So this is how AMD is powering space technology. I didn't go down to a whole lot of details about that. Most people who watch these videos, and even most people who watch the stream for AMD here on YouTube, was mostly interested in the CPUs and GPUs, obviously. But I encourage you to take a look at those other things. They are very interesting. It wasn't just another industrial thing like Nvidia. They're into their AI as well. They do a lot of things in all kind of different sectors. And those kind of things might be interesting to you if you're looking for what's beyond just your regular computers. What is the future going to look like? So I encourage you, both AMD and Nvidia. I really like the AMD presentation that was done at CES itself. That's why I encourage you to take a look at that one. Nvidia's was okay, but it seemed a little bit more showy. I don't know. It didn't really hit as well as AMD's did, at least in this instance. But that is all that AMD talked about here at CES 2023. We have some new CPUs to look forward to. If you're in the mobile sector, you got way more to look into. You got new CPUs and new GPUs coming for you in the mobile sector. The laptops coming from AMD is going to be hopefully amazing, and I can't wait to see the reviews for all of this stuff very shortly here later on this year. Well, I hope you guys didn't. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick recap of AMD's presentation. And like I said, there'll be more CES stuff coming for you. I'm currently looking at all the things that's coming out of it or came out of it. I think it's close to ending now. And I will have a couple more videos for you um, on things that I found interesting. See you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.